Hello and welcome back everybody. Today we will be solving one more problem on step bar, that is one dimensional problems. So we'll see what is the question here. Using direct stiffness method, determine the nodal displacement of step bar as shown in figure. So this is a figure which is given E1 for this. E1 is given as 200 GPa, E2 is 70 GPa, A1 that is area 150 millimeter square, A2 100 millimeter square, and at this point there is a load which is going on left hand side, that is F1 is equal to 10 kilonewton, and at this point there is a load F2 is equals to 5 kilonewton which is going on the right hand side. So this is a question we have to solve. Now first thing is what we will divide the domain into two elements. Now what we are doing, we are dividing the domain from here, that is we will give node 2 here because again there is a load at this point as well as there is change in cross section. So we will redraw this diagram like this. So that is 1, 2 and 3, there are 3 nodes and there are 2 elements, right? So this is our first element, this is our second element. The length of this first element is h is 50 millimeter as well as length for this element h is 50 millimeter here. Here they have not given the diameter like in last problem, they have given directly the area here, so we don't have to calculate the area now. So element matrix equation for any element is given by, see this EME equation we have to remember, this is very important. So the formula for that is, or equation is EA upon HE, matrices 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, U1E U2 raised to E bracket close equal to bracket P1 raised to E P2 raised to E bracket close. This E term is nothing but the element number. So if you are talking about element 1, this will be 1, element 2 this will be 2, element 3 this will be element 3, right? So this is your EME equation. We'll put all the element values inside this, right? Now first for element 1, we'll talk about element 1. So area we know, that is 150 millimeter square, HE we know, that is 50 millimeter, so we can directly find out EA upon HE. So EA upon HE is 2 into 10 raised to 5 into 150 upon 50. Now how it is 2 into 10 raised to 5, this all is in millimeter. What is given is what, gigapascal, 200 gigapascal. So that is nothing but what, giga is nothing but 10 raised to 9, so it is 10 raised to 9 pascal. And then pascal is Newton, 1 pascal is Newton per meter square, and you convert that into Newton per millimeter square, so that you have to divide by 10 raised to 6. So ultimately it is 200 into 10 raised to 9 divided by 10 raised to 6, so you'll get 200 into 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. So in this way you can convert, or in the other way you can write this gigapascal into megapascal, that is 10 raised to 3 megapascal. So it will be 200 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal, and 1 megapascal is 1 Newton per millimeter square. You can directly remember that. So you can easily convert. So 2 into 10 raised to 5 into 150 is area value and 50 is HE value. So you'll get 6 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter. We'll put this in this main equation. So that is EME for element 1 will be what, 6 into 10 raised to 5, that is nothing but EA upon HE value will put here. Then 1 minus 1 minus 1 as it is here. U1E, U2E, it will be U1 1 and U2 raised to 1 because we are talking about element 1, that's why here it is 1. And next is P1E, P2E, that will be P1 raised to 1 and P2 raised to 1. We'll put this 6 inside this matrix, so it will be 10 raised to 5, 6, minus 6 and 6. U1 1, U2, these two brackets as it is. Again what we have done, since for element 1 it is made up of node 1 and 2, that's why we have written here in small, that is 1, 2, 1, 2. We have to remember the spaces, that's why we have written here. Next is for element 2, EA upon HE will be what, 0.7 into 10 raised to 5. Again you have to convert from gigapascal to Newton per millimeter square. Then 100 is your area value, and HE is 50. So we'll put calculate, we'll get 1.4 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter. EME for this element, so we'll put all the values here, 1.4 into 10 raised to 5, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, U1 raised to 2, U2 raised to 2 equal to P1 raised to 2, P2 raised to 2. Right, here instead of E it will be 2 because we are talking about element 2. Now we'll put this 1.4 inside this bracket, so you'll get this equation, right? Again element 2 is made up of node 2 and 3, that's why we will write here in small, we have written that is 2 3 2 3 because it is made up of node 2 and 3. Now we have to form global matrix equation. global matrix equation is formed by assembling equation 1 and 2, that is by assembling EME for element 1 and EME for element 2. So we have to assemble these two equations to form a global matrix equation. Now first thing that you should know is the order of global matrix equation. Your global matrix equation order depends on the number of node in your domain. So here we have 1, 2 and 3. We have 3 nodes, that means the order of your GME will be 3 by 3. Now in this way we will write here 10 raised to 5, then we will make this matrix and we'll write 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is nothing but 3 by 3 matrix that we have written. Why it is important? We have to fill these spaces, right? So this term is nothing but 1, 1. This term is nothing but 2, 1. This term is nothing but 3, 1. This term is what? 1, 2. This term is nothing but 2, 2. This term is nothing but 3, 2. Similarly the other terms. Right? Now we have to fill these spaces by equation 1 and 2. Now if you notice 1 and 1 is there in equation 1. So this 1 and 1. So that means this term. So we'll write this term as it is here. Next is 2, 1. So 2 here, 1 here. So this minus 6 will be written here. Next is what? 1, 2. So this 1, 2 will be written here, minus 6. Next is what? 2, 2. So if you notice this 2 and 2, which is this term, it is there in equation 1. So 2, 2 is there in equation 1 as well as 2, 2 there in equation 2. That is this 2 and 2. So this term. So what we will do? We will add this 6 and this plus 1.4 and we will write here. So it is 7.4. Similarly, we will write for all others. And the spaces which are not there in equation 1 and 2. For example, this term, right? 3, 1. Now 3, 1 is not there in equation 1. It is not there in equation 2. So we will write here 0. So we will complete this equation like this. Now the other term, that is this one and this one, this is called as primary variable and this is called as secondary variable. So primary variable in terms of node, it is given U1, U2, U3. It depends on number of nodes. We have 3 nodes, that's why it is U1, U2, U3. Similarly, P1, P2, P3 depends on the nodes. So this is, in this way we will form global matrix equation GME. Now we have to impose global boundary conditions. So what are the boundary conditions here? First one is U1 is equals to 0. Why U1 equal to 0? Because node 1 is fixed. So there will not be any displacement. So U1 will be 0. Next is P2. P2 is the load which is given here. At node 2, your P2 value is given. That is minus 10 kilonewton. Minus because it is left hand side. It is going towards left hand side. That's why it is minus 10 kilonewton. So I have written here in minus 0.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton. Now why 10 raised to 5 here? Because since all my EA upon HE values are in 10 raised to 5 terms, I am again putting here in 10 raised to 5 so that we can cancel out each other. That's the main reason. So minus 0.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton. Next is P3, that is at node 3 again load is given, that is 5 kilonewton. So I have taken as 0.05 into 10 raised to 5 Newton. So these are the boundary conditions. We will put that in equation 3, that is GME. So we'll get this equation 10 raised to 5, 6, minus 6, 0, minus 6, 7.4, minus 1.4, 0, minus 1.4 and 1.4. U1 value is 0. U2 and U3 not given, so we have to find out that. Equal to 10 raised to 5. This P2 and P3 10 raised to 5 I will take outside. P1 we have to find out minus 0.1 and 0.05. Now what we'll do? We will convert this matrix into equation. Simple. So what we will do? This row will, my first row will multiply with this column which is equal to this first row term. So that is 6 into 0 minus 6 into U2 plus 0 into U3 equal to P1. So you'll get this equation. Then second row and this column minus 6 into 0 plus 7.4 into U2 minus 1.4 into U3 equal to minus 0.1. So you'll get this equation. 0 into 0 minus 1.4 into U2 plus 1.4 into U3 equal to 0.05. So you'll get this 3 equation. So you've got 3 equations. Now what you can do is, like for you see this equation B and equation C. There is U2 term, U3 term, U2 term, U3 term. So since there are 2 unknowns here, we have 2 equations. So if we solve equation B and C simultaneously, we can find out U2 and U3 value. So that is what we have done. We have put this equation directly into calculator and we have found out U2 value as what? Minus 8.33 into 10 raised to minus 3. That is nothing but minus 0.00833 millimeter. And U3 value we have got as 0.027 millimeter. So this is what U2 and U3 value. So this is what we have got as called as displacement value. Next thing is we will put this u2 value into equation A and find out P1. So that is minus 6 into minus 8.33 into 10 raised to minus 3 equal to P1. So you'll get P1 as 0.049 kilonewton. So we have got this load value. Now we can check our load value is right or not by simple assumption that we normally take. That is, summation of horizontal force are should be equal to 0. That is, summation Px should be equal to 0. So we have to check that. So that is nothing but P1 plus P2 plus P3. Now P1 we have got as 0.049, P2 is minus 0.1 and P3 is 0.05. So this it comes to minus 0.001. That is almost equal to 0. That means what? Summation of all the horizontal forces is equal to 0. That means whatever we have got is right. Right? So in this way, what we have been told to find out is the nodal displacement. So nodal displacement are nothing but u1, u2, 3, u3 values. So this we have already found out. So in this way we have completed this sum. So for more sums on step bar related problems in finite element analysis, please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Thank you.